aim at resolving our problems of today, but rather it is a proactive center.
Towards promoting indigenous technology, Communications Minister inaugurates National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. Plateau Imo State House of Assembly elects Paul Emeziam as new speaker, remove Chiji Collins. Hello and welcome to the network news on the Nigerian Television Authority, reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Joseph Johnson. Adiola will be reading from Lagos tonight. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari has assented to the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020. It repeals the Extant Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 1991 as amended. This monumental piece of legislation is expected to enhance the soundness and resilience of the financial system for sustainable growth and development of the Nigerian economy. Elizabeth Omori has details of the act.
A statement released indicates that the BOFI Act 2020 updates the enabling law in response to developments and significant evolution in the financial sector over the last 2 decades. It will increase the appetite of banks and other financial institutions to channel much-needed credit to the real sector to support economic recovery and promote sustainable growth. In this respect, it introduces a credit tribunal to improve loan recovery and address the incident of high non-performing loans within the financial system, which has been a key deterrent to lending by financial institutions. Furthermore, it strengthens the regulatory and supervisory framework for the financial industry and provides additional tools for managing failing institutions and systematic distress to preserve financial stability, amongst others. The Central Bank of Nigeria will hold structured engagements with stakeholders across various sectors of the economy on critical aspects of the Act in the coming months. This enactment of the BOFI Act 2020 is a historic and significant achievement, which is indicative of effective and productive collaboration between the executive and legislative arms of government. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
To the National Assembly now, where the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has expressed optimism that Nigerian economy is being steered on the path of growth despite the prevailing challenges. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Owoni, says Senator Lawan spoke at the Nigeria International Monetary Fund Article 4 consultation virtual exercise, where he listed efforts being made by the Nigerian government, which include anti-corruption fight and promoting economic growth and reducing poverty in the country, and observes that the nation is in the path of growth, focusing on sustaining investment in all ramifications, in spite of the setback caused by COVID-19. The President of the Senate said the National Assembly had been as responsive as possible in the provision of legislative support to people-oriented proposals, explaining that the 2021 budget currently being processed by the National Assembly is aimed at addressing the prevailing challenges, including unemployment. And the Primary Healthcare Development Agency has confirmed cases of yellow fever and has swung into action to address it. Executive Director of the agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, told the Senate Committee on Primary Healthcare and Communicable Diseases when he appeared before the committee to defend the 2021 budget of the agency. John Yaku reports that the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and the National Agency for the Control of AIDS also appeared.
They have yellow fever outbreak in some part of the country. Not Enugu, Bauchi, Delta, and we are still counting. I don't know, Benue, the other time they said they reported strange disease. I don't know if the yellow fever at the end of the day.
Within less than 24 hours after we received reports of the outbreaks of yellow fever in this state, we actually deployed our staff that are in the front line to go and investigate, working together with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control.
While commending the agency on the total eradication of polio in the country, the committee called for surveillance against reinfections Meanwhile, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control was urged to replicate the model of COVID-19 isolation center in Gwagwalada across the 36 states of the Federation as a permanent health response facility during emergencies. Chairman of the committee, Chukwuka Otazi, said this investment in the health sector will prepare the country to face future health emergencies.
Nigerians were used to our being reactionary. Anytime we have issue, we run. Let us get a fighting approach. Once it is over, everybody goes.
For this model, awards have been given through the Redise project for 5 new centers about 5 months ago, but the process has just been finalized in Enugu, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, and Ilorin.
The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, on its part, wants to empower people living with HIV to reduce infections in the country.
Poverty makes them vulnerable, and because of that, they engage in risky behavior.
Polio has left Nigeria. We're also expecting that in no distant time, HIV will be a thing of the past.
John Yaku, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force will next year acquire 3 Thunder aircrafts from Pakistan and 8 unmanned aerial vehicles from China. Chief of the Air Staff and Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar said this during a budget defense engagement with the House of Representatives Committee on Air Force. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The expected deliveries in 2021, said the Air Chief, also include Super Tucano aircrafts to beef up its fleet of newly acquired military hardware.
The 22 aircraft we have acquired, and we are expecting 17 more. In addition to that, we are hoping to get 3 special mission aircraft under the Deep Blue project.
Present administration, so we have to commend them for doing that, because I believe they have done that because of the role of the Nigerian Air Force in the fighting of terrorism and other banditry across the Federation.
The proposed budget estimate of the Nigerian Air Force for 2021 is more than 142 billion naira. As a budget defense session with the House Committee on National Planning and Economic Development with the Nigerian Institute for Social and Economic Research, the committee urged the management to improve on performance.
So many that you don't provide, that need to be provided. It's not for me, it's good for the committee to show that we do a proper job.
The National Assembly Service Commission was also with the House Committee on Public Service Matters to defend its 2.7 billion naira estimate. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Healthcare Services has visited the Nigeria Center for Disease Control to verify its 2020 budget performance.
From the beginning of the outbreak, your support has really enabled us to push forward and do a lot of the work that we have done.
The need for more funding, especially ensure health security, and then to also ensure that the sustainability of what has been allocated to them previously in the basic healthcare provision fund.
The committee said MDAs must back financial claims with records. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government has flagged off the conditional cash transfer for rural women in Gombe State. Zara Umar Adamu reports that 2 ministers flagged off the Women Economic Empowerment Program.
The grant for rural women is part of President Buhari's social inclusion agenda. It is designed to provide cash grant to vulnerable women in Nigeria with the hope that beneficiaries will make good use of the opportunity to increase their income.
This is an intervention that President Muhammad Buhari has approved for women to be supported so that they can earn their own livelihood.
It is a grant the president has given out to support women to uplift their businesses.
Very grateful to Mr. President for remembering Gombe people with this grant.
To the beneficiaries, the grant is life-saving.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We say thank you, sir.
And I'm very, very grateful. I'm praying for them. May God continue to protect them and open doors for them.
Receiving the ministers, Governor Inuwa Yahya lauded the federal government for coming to the aid of women in the state. 1,000 vulnerable women, including widows, are to benefit from the cash grant in Gombe State. Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
The United States of America is once again expressing its readiness to collaborate with the Palace of the Oba of Benin in the fight against human trafficking and the promotion of youth empowerment. The political and economic chief U.S. consulate in Lagos, Mr. Brandon Hudspeth, was speaking when he led the U.S. mission delegation on a courtesy visit to the Oba Igware II. Goodluck Enaine reports.
Mr. Hudspeth is 2 months old in office. He is at the palace of the Oba of Benin to intimate him on his readiness for the job. The U.S. envoy, who applauded the royal father for his efforts in checking human trafficking, says partnering the palace will yield more results.
It is our great pleasure to be able to come and hear those reforms and hear the types of steps that your Royal Majesty sees, the vision of your kingdom.
Oba Ewai, who described the visit as timely, expressed optimism that the collaboration will go a long way to assist in changing the narratives.
We shall be talking to you if it is possible to discuss how America and Benin can cooperate in economic terms to assist government efforts. I'm aware too that many private connectors are holding artifacts in their private collection. Some of them, not all of them, and some of them will be brought back to us.
Congratulated U.S. President-elect Joe Biden on his victory and presented a souvenir to the visitor. In Benin, Goodluck Enaine, NTA News.
Let's pick up from there now, because U.S. President Donald Trump attacks vote machines, saying thousands of votes were stolen as cybersecurity officials say election was, quote, secure. This is just as China becomes one of the last major countries to congratulate U.S. President and Vice President-elect nearly a week after the clinched victory in November 3 polls. Details with Justin Bentley.
Federal and state cybersecurity officials who worked to protect the U.S. 2020 presidential election from misinformation and interference have delivered a direct rebuke to Donald Trump, who continues to allege election irregularities and widespread fraud for which there is still no evidence. Chris Krebs, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency director, said the 3rd November vote had been the most secured in history and that Americans should trust the election result. Mr. Trump, meanwhile, spent Thursday night on Twitter and claimed without basis that the horrible, inaccurate, and anything but secure vote machines used across the United States had allowed thousands of votes to be stolen and handed to his opponent, Joe Biden. In the meantime, China has congratulated U.S. President-elect Joe Biden, who won the November 3rd election nearly a week after the former vice president clinched enough states for the win. China's Foreign Ministry spokesman, Wang Wenbin, said at a daily news briefing where he extended a congratulatory message that China respects the choice of the American people. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Back home now, following the approval of the President for enrollment of new members into the All Progressives Congress, a leading member of the party, Abdulaziz Yari, has commended the move, describing it as a step in the right direction. The former governor of Zamfara State also comments on the efforts of the Mai Bala Muni-led reconciliation team.
The performance, sincerely speaking, one we have, you can see that the APC is calm and no complaint. But usually, there's no how you put like 20 million people doing one thing, they will not have complaint. A country of 200 million people, even those members that are not members of the party, they will actually they are members of the party because the government that is the party that ruling the government in the country. So therefore, but the lead Boni Memala administration of the caretaker, they are doing a very good job. They are going slowly but steady.
Abdulaziz Yari spoke to State House correspondent Gideon Ifade after a courtesy visit to the Vice President. Now, Speaker Imo State House of Assembly G. Collins has been removed. He was removed by 23 out of 27 members of the House at an emergency plenary held at the Assembly chambers. The 23 members have elected the member representing Imo State constituency, Paul Emeziem, the new Speaker of the House. Paul Emeziem is from same senatorial zone as the former Speaker, G. Collins, who represents Isiala Mbano State constituency in the Imo State House of Assembly. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed 5th of December 2020 for the conduct of the 15 by-elections in 11 states earlier scheduled for October 31st. INEC National Commissioner for Information Festus Okoye in a statement indicates that the new date was taken after a series of stakeholders meetings. INEC appeals to voters and stakeholders in the state with pending by-elections to continue to cooperate with the Commission in its efforts to deliver credible elections under a safe environment. All right, let's just pause here for some messages now. Stay with us. The news returns shortly.
The Council of Our Fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Of with course, us. Ten, please, can you sing for us? Of course. When you need me, you can FaceTime me on the go. Baby, I got you. No matter where you stay, oh baby, you can reach me overseas, my dear. Whether Ghana, Lagos, Nigeria, you can call me on my telephone line. You know what? Always on time. Only by me, I go anywhere and anytime. You can call me anytime. Glow, Brekete.
Introducing Brekete. Activate a new Glow SIM and get 600 Naira free credit plus 700% bonus on every recharge and up to 100% bonus on data plans. Glow Unlimited.
The Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Usman Jiddashua, FWC, on behalf of the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umarazalum, MNI, FNSC, invites the general public to the official launch of Borno State 25-year development plan and 10-year strategic transformation initiative scheduled to hold on Saturday, 14th November 2020 by 10 a.m. at the Multipurpose Hall, Government House, Maiduguri. Our Borno, our success. Let us join hands and make Borno great again. Signed, Babakura Abajato, Honorable Commissioner for Home Affairs, Information and Culture for Local Organizing Committee.
On behalf of the Director General, Management and staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, I thank all invited stakeholders who graciously graced the launch of the Stand Against Rape and Rapist, STAR, which was recently held at the NTA Arena, and who made the event a great success. Thank you. This is also an invitation to other stakeholders who are interested to be willing partners against the scourge. The launch signifies the official takeoff of the fight against the menace of rape and rapists. Please take a stand today to rid the society of these ugly blight in the nation's development. Adisa Abu Lawal, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, announcer.
Mommy is back!
Guess what's inside?
Chocolate. Biscuit.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
Cavity? What cavity?
Let me show you.
Most toothaches are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, Its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity.
It also has natural mint for minty fresh breath every day.
Mom, can I eat chocolates now?
As long as you brush with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
A scorecard like no other. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youths, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. The creation of 75 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youths, and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Survivor Fund, through which government is A. Paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. B. Paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. Giving a grant of 30,000 naira to 100,000 artisans and guaranteeing market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as farmer money, trader money, market money, N-Power, N-Tech, and N-Agro. These and more in spite of a recession and a global pandemic.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching NTA Network News with me, Joseph Johnson. Now let's talk technology, because Nigerian innovators now have another digital platform where they can harness and develop their skills in emerging technologies following the inauguration of a National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. Well, earlier in the day, I was at the center where the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, inaugurated the project. This is the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. It was constructed by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, and equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Ali Pantami, and the Director General NITDA, Inua Kashifu, while inaugurating the edifice, were unanimous that the center will foster the development and practical application of emerging technologies for sustainable socio-economic development.
The center is not aimed at resolving our problems of today, but rather it is a proactive center that we try to predict what we anticipate to happen in the next 2, 3, 5 or 10 years.
And it is going to enable at least 5 pillars of the 8 strategic pillars of National Digital Economy Policy for Digital Nigeria.
The project, many here say, is yet another milestone towards achieving a digital Nigeria. And with the inauguration, the center, as expected, will be witnessing lots of activities, but the major focus will be on prepping Nigeria for the 4th Industrial Revolution. From the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in Abuja, Joseph Johnson, NTA News. We go in AI now. Interesting development, isn't it? Emerging complexities and continued commitment in addressing critical demographic issues through regional efforts is engaging attention of stakeholders towards actualizing Nairobi Summit on Population Development. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the National Population Commission is also championing the efforts.
Nigeria, as one of the largest population destinations in the world, is already toying the path of sustaining greater commitment in narrowing the gaps of poor reproductive and maternal health services, as streamlined in the summit resolutions after 12 months of multilateral endorsement.
When all hands are on deck, Nigeria will
be able to further narrow the gap and attain the goals set with sister nations.
So far, Nigeria has remained steadfast in tackling reproductive and maternal health challenges and other gender-based issues, which are the main focus of the Nairobi Summit, aimed at providing access to quality health services.
The National Family Planning Scale-Up Plan was recently launched, and policies on adolescent health development and gender in health are at an advanced stage of completion.
Other top issues like early marriage, domestic violence, rape, and harmful cultural practices are gaining advocacy support by stakeholders to minimize impact of the health and social crisis among young population.
Ahead of the 2030 goal, another decade we have to reaffirm ourselves to these goals. It's a decade of action, and it's a decade we must not waste.
The renewed vigor at the first anniversary of African endorsement of Nairobi Summit after 25 years journey in Ethiopia is to race to the finish line in achieving universal health coverage and quality population. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Nigerian Union of Traders Association in Ghana, NUTAG, has presented a letter requesting the Nigerian government to facilitate their evacuation from Ghana. NITCOM says 753 members signed to be supported to return home. NITCOM has therefore received a delegation led by President, National Association of Nigerian Traders, Dr. Ken Ukwaha, and the President of NUTAG, who presented the letter to the Chairman and CEO, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa in Abuja, on the grounds of consistent harassment, torture and threat to life, as well as a total lockdown of their means of livelihood.
Under lock and key, you are pushing that man to engage in other vices.
But we also know that it's very difficult to uproot what you've built for years and just say, I'm coming back, more so out of frustration of what this country has done to you. So I'm still optimistic that this can be resolved.
The NITCOM boss, however, further assured the traders of support from relevant authorities to return them home for further consideration and to speed up the process with strategic ministries and agencies to bring a lasting solution to the issues. Mrs. Dabiri Erewa also said Nigeria will not hesitate to gladly and safely welcome her citizens back to the country. Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji remains on the speed lane, deploying state-of-the-art infrastructure for a well-rounded military education. Chief of Defense Staff General Bayomi Gabriel Olanishakin was at the college to inaugurate one of the latest information technology centers. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Landing at the headquarters 601 Aviation Battalion and a guard of honor. Straight to the business of the day goes the Chief of Defense Staff, and before him, world-class information technology gadgets, a response by the Armed Forces Staff and Command College Jaji to the ever-changing space of information technology. The Chief of Defense Staff minced no word in his description of the college as an international military training institution critical in turning out well-rounded officers who lead the various operations and missions across the world.
The newly installed IT infrastructure will significantly improve research effort in the college and also expose staff and students to the array of information available online. This is indeed in line with global best practices for institutions of this caliber.
The ultimate aim of this infrastructural boost is to enhance the quality of training education in the college. In addition, learning from the past, robust maintenance packages have been instituted towards ensuring optimized utility.
A busy day it was for the man at the top of the military hierarchy. He transversed the college inspecting newly constructed recreational facility and accommodation for the military personnel. In Kaduna, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
Still on security, the Directorate of Defense Media Operations, DMO, says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has recorded more successes in its air campaign against Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast of the country. DMO Coordinator Major General John Enenche says the latest of these was achieved through air strikes executed at Njemia and Dure in the Sambisa Forest area of Borno State, following confirmation of terrorist activities in the locations via intelligence and surveillance missions. Nigerian Air Force attack aircraft engaged the area, resulting in the destruction of the terrorist structures and neutralization of several of their fighters. And the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, on an operational visit to units in Ibadan, has also visited the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde at his office in Agodi to collaborate on improving security. Oyomiku Ajibola reports.
Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar explained that the Air Force is focusing on security in the southwest in order to identify gaps in its organizational structures. Staff was at NAV Detachment Ibadan and also inspected facilities at the Air Force Comprehensive School. He lauded Oyo State government efforts at expanding the Ibadan airport.
And we are here very excited because we believe that the state government is also working to see how the airport will become better than what it is today, and we want to take advantage of that so that the Air Force can also key into that and will have a much bigger unit than what we have right now.
Receiving the Chief of Air Staff, Governor Seyi Makinde applauded operations of the Air Force in the southwest.
I know this is a challenging period for us as a country, security-wise, and we want to thank you for looking towards southwest, to expand the footprint of the Nigerian Air Force here.
In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
For more on security, let's join Adiola in Lagos. Adiola.
Thank you, Joseph. Oil pipelines are critical national assets which have been threatened by the activities of vandals. The resultant effect has led to revenue losses and adversely impacted national energy security. These losses have, however, been greatly reduced with several military operations targeted at containing the situation. Dr. Oguyemi reports that the operational capacity of the Nigerian Navy has received a boost in order to achieve better results in ending vandalism.
Revenue losses resulting from vandalism and sabotage of oil installations and pipelines across the country gave rise to several military operations to check the menace. According to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, in 2017, 249 attacks on pipelines between Atlas Cove into Ilorin were recorded, resulting in over 50% revenue loss. However, since 2019, operations such as Awatse and Kurumbe have turned the story around, increasing oil flow to these lines by 2.7 million tons of premium motor spirit.
Yes, there are still more work to be done. The incidents are still going on. The vandals changed their strategy. I'm aware that we have taken down over 2,000 structures along this right of way. There is more to be taken down. We will work with you. We'll continue to support the Operation Kurumbe and Awase to ensure that there's total elimination of losses until we bring it to the level that the industry can accept as normal losses.
The presentation of 4 Toyota Hilux and 4 Outback vehicles by the NNPC to the Nigerian Navy is to aid the operations.
All efforts, including the terrain advantages that these assets being inducted today offer, must be in place to ensure the security of pipelines and the smooth distribution of petroleum products across the country.
Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command had earlier unveiled new houses for its personnel at the Navy base, Ojo.
The personnel are happy, their morale is all-time high, and this has translated to a better operational efficiency.
The FOC restated the commitment of the command to deliver on its mandate. In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
And the mayhem that followed NSA's protest in Lagos has continued to elicit reactions from public-spirited Nigerians. Abia State Governor Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu was loud and clear that attack on Lagos is an attack on all, owing to the role of the state in the sustenance of the nation's economy. Nosa Osula reports that this was when Governor Ikpeazu paid a visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to commiserate with him over the recent arsonist attack on state assets.
The Abia State Governor, who is in Lagos to commiserate with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu over the attacks, condemned the arson, stressing that Lagos remains a home for all Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, language or religion.
Our projects to make sure that everybody feels the impact of government. We want to urge our youths to exercise restraint and little patience and to find a way to develop faith in governance and government.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, who thanked his Abia counterpart for taking the pain to travel down to Lagos from the southeast to identify with the residents over the violence, promised that the Lagos state government will continue to support the business aspirations of the Igbos and protect their rights to live in Lagos.
For us in Lagos, we have moved on, we are moving on, we're actually healing ourselves. We are more than ever before creating engagement and collaborations where we can build bridges and we can build connecting dots, not only for our youth, not only for our ethnic nationals, but for even our women, and ensure that indeed we have genuine real reconciliation, we speak truth to ourselves.
Meanwhile, indigenes of the southeast and south-south living in Lagos also paid a solidarity visit to Governor Sanwo-Olu at the Lagos House Ikeja. They assured the governor of their unwavering commitment to peace and unity in the state. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
We're going on another commercial break now. We hope you stay on to the NTA.
Of tasty nourishment.
There are no small beginnings, only stepping stones to bigger things. That's our philosophy at Premium Pension. And so no matter the size of your money, our team of expert fund managers invested wisely and actively to make sure your money is always working as hard as you do. After all, the things we're building today can help shape your future in the long run. And with the right partner by your side, the one thing you're sure to do is soar. Premium Pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Guess what?
What?
I scored a hat trick today.
Cool.
Wow.
And how did you celebrate?
Just do your hands like this.
And hold your nose like this.
Body odor is caused by germs. That's why you need the new improved Dettol Cool Soap, which protects against 99.9% odor-causing germs with an extra burst of menthol freshness. Dettol, be 100% sure.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
With total submission to the will of God, the Public Service of the Federal Republic of Nigeria announces the passing on to glory of Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and Deputy Secretary to the Federal Executive Council, which sad event occurred on Friday, 6th November 2020, at the age of 56 years. Burial program is as follows. Friday, 13th November 2020, service of songs and evening of tributes, 4 to 6 p.m., International Conference Center, Area 10, Garki, Abuja. Saturday, 14th November 2020, funeral service at the National Christian Center, behind Central Bank of Nigeria Headquarters, Central Business District, Abuja. Time, 8:30 a.m. Interment at Gudu Christian Cemetery, Abuja, immediately after the funeral service. May his gentle soul rest in peace. Dr. Morris Nnamdi Mberi, announcer.
This is NTA Network News, and we are back in Abuja. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says it is aware of a document widely circulating the media purporting an increase in the PPMC ex-coastal price and ex-depot price, with collection to 130 naira and 155.70 naira respectively. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) Tower, Abuja, Kenny Obateru, stated that although there was a slight increase in the price based on the prevailing realities of market forces of demand and supply, the correct prices, as can be seen on PPMC's Customer Express platform, are ex-coastal price 128 naira and ex-depot price with collection is 153.70 naira. Kenny Obateru advises marketers to make their purchases through online Customer Express platform at the recommended prices. Traffic management during festive season, like the fast approaching Yuletide, is always hectic as a result of the huge number of travelers crisscrossing the country in readiness for the celebration, with the singular aim of zero tolerance for road crashes. The Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Boboyo Yeyemi was in Lagos to seek partnership with the government on traffic management during the season. Nusa Osla reports that the Corps Marshal also commiserated with the governor on the recent unrest in the state.
The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, who explained that the Corps would engage in advocacy and enlightenment programs for road users in the state, urged motorists to imbibe safe road culture to avoid loss of lives on the highway.
The Corps also had his own share of these losses, because I was on full inspection last week to see in our formations, and we had the worst scenario here where the patrol vehicles, the driver's license centers, and our commands were vandalized and some burnt.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu promised that his administration would continue to partner with the Corps to ensure free flow of traffic.
With all these come together, with federal agencies and state agencies, and also both the NNPC under the PPMC and Nigerian authorities, because these are the arms of government that utilize the service.
The governor also commended the FRSC for efforts in handling falling tankers and articulated vehicles on the highway. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
The efforts of the federal government at bridging the huge infrastructural gap in the country has again been commended. This time it was at the inauguration of a 7.5 kilowatt solar hybrid mini-grid project at Joint Hospital Ozubulu, constructed by the Rural Electrification Agency. Chukunonso Wabeze has the details.
Access to reliable electricity power supply for rural dwellers, especially in the area of healthcare services, records have shown, is one of the priority policies of the present administration.
May it be beneficial to this community. Amen.
This inauguration of this 7.5 kilowatt solar hybrid mini-grid project, situated at Joint Hospital Ozubulu in Ekwisigo local government area of Anambra State, is in fulfillment of the Rural Electrification Agency's mandate of deploying renewable energy to all Nigerians.
This project is coming at a very timely moment as we push to recover from COVID-19 pandemic.
So we are working hard to ensure that this economy is actually energized. It's a clear policy of this government, and I can see this is an exemplary one.
For the beneficiaries, this valuable energy infrastructure, no doubt, is a reaffirmation of the dedication to service on the part of the federal government.
It is with great pride that Anambra State has collaborated with the federal government through the Rural Education Agency to implement this impressive project.
The inauguration coincided with the 1-year in office anniversary of the current leadership of the Rural Electrification Agency, headed by its managing director, Ahmad Salhijo Ahmad. In Ozobolo, Chukunonsonwa Boeze, NTA News.
The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has handed over operational vehicles as additional working tools to 16 audit firms involved in the ongoing forensic audit of the commission, as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari. Osinachi Abraham reports.
The operational vehicles worth millions of dollars are to aid the forensic auditors in the smooth conduct of the ongoing forensic audit of the Commission. The exercise, which was initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari, is to, among others, reposition the Commission to enable it effectively execute the core mandate, which is to better the lives of the people of Niger Delta and fast-track infrastructural growth of the region.
And we hope at the end of the day, the forensic audits will unravel a lot of things that's gone on in the Commission. It is not a witch-hunting process, but just to really know the true state of things and recommend ways forward.
The forensic auditors are drawn from firms within and outside the country. Their terms of reference include critical review of the cost of projects and programs carried out by the Commission from inception to August 2019, with the aim of identifying misappropriation of funds and correcting same in future contracts.
President that you know is a man of integrity, is a man that believes in accountability, is a man that believes that there should be value for money at all times. Every kobo spent, they should be able to account for it.
The lead consultant Joshua Bashir and Alhaji Kabir Ahmed gave assurance that the firm would carry out a transparent audit. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Abraham, NTA News.
Still staying with the region, Nigerian youth group from the Niger Delta region has advocated more support for the Nigerian Television Authority for its commitment in the promotion of national unity and integration of the country. The group, which is called South-South Youth Initiative, drummed the support during the presentation of award to the Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad. Abubakar Usman Akwanga has more.
Group, which comprises large followership across the South-South geopolitical zone of the country, says NTA has lived above board in building bridges of unity and national integration. The organization ranked performance of NTA DG as high since assumption of office and pledged to partner the organization in highlighting challenges of the region, as well as campaigns against drug abuse, rape and other social vices.
We have carefully followed development here in NTA and have observed that under your watch, NTA has maintained its significant position of pride of setting the pace with utmost professionalism. This is a proof that the right person is in the right position in his office.
Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Muhammad appreciates the recognition and promised to sustain partnership with youth organizations in the promotion of good governance and national development.
We are really ready to work with you to achieve the purpose of your establishment. What really interests us so much when we heard about the program you have designed that will address the drug abuse is something that is of paramount to the entire nation.
NTA says it will remain in the front line for ventilating issues that will strengthen the bond of love and patriotism through its reportage and program content. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
There is a consensus among media chiefs, legal experts, participants and other resource persons that regulation of social media has become imperative following the dangers associated with fake news and hate speeches. They, however, affirmed that regulation must strike a balance between the fundamental rights of citizens as guaranteed in the 1999 Constitution and other regional and international instruments. This was the highlight of webinar on fake news and hate messages organized by the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies in Abuja. Judiciary correspondent has more.
The growing debate on how to address the menace of fake news without undermining the benefits of digital media and freedom of expression has become a global concern. The speakers advocated sharpening the rough edges that promote disunity and threat to national unity by aggressive sensitization of citizens' obligations under Sections 22 and 24 of the Constitution with corresponding duties. They also suggested reinvigoration of the existing legislative instruments and a clear-cut definition of what the proposed social media bill should address.
Everyone has the responsibility to combat the scourge of fake news by verifying information. I expect the outcome of this gathering to add value to the expected public hearing on containing fake news.
We have some actually semblance of legislative instruments that can address both fake news and hate speeches. Now, whether the new bill will add value to them is a different matter altogether.
This is in addition to government being transparent in sharing information in line with the Freedom of Information Act to avoid seeking information from unreliable sources. In Abuja, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Let's talk sports now. The Super Eagles of Nigeria were Friday evening shocked by the Lone Stars of Sierra Leone, who helped them to a 4-all draw in a 2022 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier played at the Samuel Ogbamudia Stadium, Benin City. Now, the Eagles raced into a 4-goal lead within the first 30 minutes of the encounter after Alex Iwobi's double and efforts from Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chukwueze. However, the visitors pulled one back in the first half before completing an unbelievable comeback in the second half with 3 more goals to leave the 2013 African champions stunned at home. Nigeria will now have the win, or to win the reverse fixture in Sierra Leone next Tuesday to stand a chance of qualifying for Cameroon 2020. This year with Sierra Leone picking their second point of the qualifier. Still talking sport, curtain falls on 2020 Prudent Energy Handball League in Abuja. Kene Emma Abudige brings us these and other stories on Sports Update.
2019 champions Kano Pillars ended their campaign at the 2020 Prudent Energy Handball Premier League on a winning note, beating Confluent Stars 36-21 goals on match day 14 in Abuja on Friday. Delta Force could not beat the drop as they lost 24-28 goals to defenders. Already relegated Borno Spiders were defeated by Niger United, with Lagos Seasiders recording a 36-28 goals win over Plateau Vipers. Meanwhile, few months after becoming the first ever African coach to lead a European team to a league title, Nigeria's Ndubisi Ebo has been sacked by KF Tirana. The Albanian champions have failed to replicate last season's form, and their struggles continued on Wednesday as they were dumped out of the League Cup at home. The defeat, being the 5th in 7 games, proved to be the last straw for the former Nigeria international. In motorsport, Lewis Hamilton will get his first shot at a record-equaling 7th crown this weekend as Formula One action returns to the Istanbul Park circuit for the first time in 9 years. Hamilton is 85 points clear of his only remaining title rival, Valtteri Bottas, and will become the sport's second 7-time champion if he's not outscored by at least 8 points by the Finn at the Turkish Grand Prix. Kenen Ima Aburike, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo says the nation has lost a model civil servant in late Permanent Secretary Cabinet Affairs Office, Babatunde Lawal, who deployed expertise in the drafting and implementation of numerous government policies and plans. This was during a valedictory night of tributes for the late Permanent Secretary in Abuja. Mitari Igben reports.
Late
Babatunde Lawal rose through the ranks in the civil service to become Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office in the SGF's office in 2018 and Deputy Secretary, Federal Executive Council. The Vice President, who joined this valedictory service virtually, and other colleagues remember late Lawal as a man of few words who was resourceful and transparent.
He was a key contributor to the development of several strategies developed by this government, including the Strategic Implementation Plan of 2016 and the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of 2017.
The role he played in developing the 9 priority areas and eventually the assessment that took place during the 1-year ministerial performance review will remain a hallmark in the public service of Nigeria.
The consensus here is that the nation needs more citizens with character and devotion like Babatunde Lawal to fill the void he has left behind. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And that's NTA Network News for tonight. I appreciate the company. I'm Joseph Johnson. Remember to be a star and stand with NTA against rape and rapists. Good night.
Hello, it's a warm welcome to Sports Day, reaching you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. And give George.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android, Intelsat 901 degree east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
is the network service of the NTA.
The counsel of our fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
And it is now my duty, my honor and my privilege in the chair to call for a vote on the approval of the Charter of the United Nations.
With the end of the Second World War and the creation of the United Nations, the international community vowed never to allow atrocities witnessed during the conflict happen again. World leaders decided to complement the United Nations Charter with a roadmap to guarantee the rights of every individual everywhere. This agreement led the United Nations General Assembly to adopt and proclaim the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, on December 10, 1948. This declaration, which has 30 articles, was domesticated in Nigeria in Chapter 10 of Laws of the Federation, 1990, and has been in creation since 1993 via the Nigerian Ratification and Enforcement Act, 1983. In this report, we will bring to fore how the Nigerian Army, an arm of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is complying and fulfilling the core principles of the UDHR. In Article 5, which deals on ban on torture, Article 9, which treats ban on arbitrary detention, and Convention Against Torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment, which was signed into law by Nigeria on July 28, 1988, and ratified in June 28, 2001. Our focus will also be to rightfully correct the gross misrepresentation by some local and international organizations who have severally presented unfounded and malicious reports against the Nigerian Army. These organizations have often accused the Nigerian Army personnel of introducing a torture technique known as tabay into the country, abusing the rights of citizens and wrongful handling of detainees, contrary to the articles of the United Nations Universal Declarations on Human Rights. To find out what policy the Nigerian Army has for human rights of citizens and handling of suspects and detainees, and if its personnel are aware of this policy, we visited the Army headquarters in Abuja, and the Chief of Civil Military Affairs, Major General Hamza Bature, enumerated the policy and its implementation.
The Nigerian Army has instituted several measures aimed at improving human rights protections and compliance. The establishment of human rights desks was in 2016 and is one of the measures instituted by the Nigerian Army under the able leadership of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai. Other measures instituted under his leadership on the observance of human rights and compliance with international best practices include the promulgation of human rights policy in 2016, The Human Rights Desk was initially established at Army headquarters level, but in order to allow it permeate down the command, it was directed that all the divisions should also establish the Human Rights Desk to enable monitoring of abuses, violations and abuses of human rights as the troops conduct their operations.
These human rights desks are not even situated in the barracks. The Chief Minister directed they should be in town. Why? If it's in the barracks, sometimes somebody will be afraid, how did he access the barracks? But it's in town that you can just walk there and complain.
We have strict regulations. The Nigerian Army has a policy on human rights, which we are instructed to abide with.